Hi, I'm Justine, and this is my first YouTube video. This is actually my second time filming this entire video because um, before I was wearing like an ugly green sweater and I just want to look a bit more presentable. So yeah, now I'm looking cuter and I'm gonna do it again. So before I start reviewing books and stuff, I will admit something. I maybe did not read all these books in January. Maybe I read a lot of them in late December. But I just want to include them because the more the merrier, you know? And also, like, do you guys really care? Is anyone even watching? Okay, so the first book I read in the month of January was The Hazelwood by Melissa Albert. Um, so, okay, I feel like I should summarize first. Okay, so, summary. Go. The Hazelwood is about a girl named Alice, and her grandmother is like a fairy tale writer, and she like writes these fairy tales. She like travels around with her mom all over like the country being the US, because like they think they have bad luck or whatever. And then one day the grandmother dies, and the mom's like, we don't have bad luck anymore. And they're like in New York now because they don't have bad luck anymore. But then her mom gets kidnapped by the fairy tale characters because the fairy tales are real. And then Alice with her friend Ellery Finch need to go to the Hazelwood, which is where the fairy tales take place, to go save Alice's mom. So I gave this book a 4 out of 5 stars. I really liked the plot. I thought it was very creative that like the fairy tale people are alive and stuff. And shockingly, in 7th grade, I wanted to write a story very similar to this. So yeah, that really spoke to me. And I really like the plot twist in the middle. I think that was pretty good. But the only reason that this is not a 5-star read is because I feel like the characters were just kind of like meh. Like, they weren't bad, but they weren't, like, amazing. Alice and Ellery were just kind of, like, good, I guess. You know, they were fine. And I also felt like the climax wasn't super climaxy. You know, if you know what I mean, like, it didn't feel like the climax, but then they were like, oh, this is the climax, and here's the falling action, and I was like, oh, okay. So, yeah, but it was still good. Would I read it again? Maybe in 2 years or so. Maybe not, like really soon, but yeah, I might read it again. So yeah, that was The Hazelwood. The second book I read in the month of January, or maybe it was December. We'll never know. I might be lying. But maybe I'm not. That's the mystery. Okay, so, Book of Essie is about this girl named Essie, and she's on a reality TV show with her family. It's called Six for Hicks, I think, because their last name is Hicks, and there are 6 of them, which is exciting. And they're like this white family, and they're very like religious, and yeah, they're like that. And one day Essie gets pregnant for unknown reasons, and that means she needs to get married. And so she marries this other guy from like her school in like a mutually beneficial relationship. And they're like, Essie has like this whole plan on how she's gonna like take down her family or something and reveal them to the world, because they're like not amazing or something. But I feel like I can't really rate this book because I read this like a little too fast. I admit, maybe I didn't really read like 25% of this book because other than Essie and her husband, there's a third POV, and that's Liberty. Liberty Bell. Yes, that is her name. And I don't really care about her. I felt like her plot. Well, okay, maybe I would have understood that this wasn't true if I had read her chapters, but I didn't. Because her whole plotline was like she was in a cult, and now she's like in a legal battle for some reason. And I just didn't really care. So I just didn't really read her chapters, and I feel like this says something about the book, but maybe it just says something about me because I'm lazy and have poor reading comprehension. So I feel like I shouldn't be rating this book because I didn't really read it correctly. So yeah, but one thing I didn't like from the 75% of the book that I did read was, why didn't Essie just get an abortion? I don't know if this is problematic or something, but Essie's 17 when she gets pregnant? For reference, I am 16. I know I don't look like it, but if I were Essie, I would get an abortion because that's very, very young, and also, you later find out the circumstances of how she got pregnant, and I feel like that made me want to get an abortion a little bit more. And in the beginning, she explains why she isn't doing that. She's like, oh, I don't want my mom to control me and stuff. And I was like, okay, that's completely your choice. Like, I'm not gonna make you, a fictional character, get an abortion. But, like, why? Okay. Maybe it's because I didn't read the book very well, so. Anyway, let's move past that. Okay, so the third book I read this month, or maybe it was December, was Radio Silence by Alice Oseman. And the reason I read this was because one of my favorite booktubers, Paperback Dreams, Kat from Paperback Dreams, said that Radio Silence is her favorite book. So I was like, okay, I love you, Kat. I'll do whatever you say, and I'm going to read it now. So I read it, and, okay, to summarize. So it's about this girl named Frances. She's like about to go to college, and she befriends this guy who's like the creator of this podcast that she really likes. So they like work on the podcast together. My favorite character was the Asian. Shocking, I know. Daniel. Daniel was my favorite character because he was Asian. I have a very strong Asian bias. Yeah, I like Daniel. I thought he was cool and Asian. I mean, I knew he was Asian. Going very poorly. But, yeah, so it's about that, and basically the whole point is, like, they don't really want to go to university, but, like, they've been taught that they, like, have to and stuff. And, I rated this a 4 out of 5 stars. I kind of want to give it 5 out of 5, but I feel like I just didn't think about it that much. Like, I don't know, something about it just, I didn't relate to it very much, probably because, let me tell you. Anyway, that's kind of why I didn't relate to it as much, but I really liked the characters. It was a really fun read. I had a good time. I really liked Daniel, the Asian. We stan. And yeah. So that was Radio Silence by Alice Oseman. So the fourth book I read this month, or maybe it was December, was Little Fires Everywhere by Celeste. I'm just not going to say her name because I'm ashamed that I can't pronounce her last name. So, this book, I really like this book, but it's about, basically, there's like the small town of Shaker Heights or whatever, and this mother and her daughter, Pearl and Mia, come in, and they like move in, and they befriend this white family, the Richardsons. Why am I saying white family? Like Pearl and Mia aren't white. Maybe it's the TV show, but and they're like, and basically the plot starts when like this legal battle happens between like both Mia and the Richardsons, like friends, I guess. Like BB Chow, who's like Mia's co-worker at this restaurant, she like basically like abandoned her baby, I guess, but for like good reason, because she like couldn't support it. So she abandoned it at like a fire station, in the McCullows, who are the Richardsons, like best friends, this white family. They adopted BB Chow's baby. BB Chow's baby. Struggle. And then, basically, it's about, like, BB Chow's like, oh, I regret doing that, and I want my baby back. I rated this book a 5 out of 5 because I thought about it a lot after reading it. I thought about it. And I think that is a good sign. If you want to know my opinions on the legal battle, I'll tell you right now, because I'm sure you are dying to know. You are on the edge of your seat. Also, the messages were very subtle, I guess, and that's probably the reason I thought about it a lot afterwards, because it's like very subtle how, I don't know if this is a spoiler, but like how all the Richardson children slowly like screw Pearl over basically. And it's like, I don't know, it's very subtle. Also, the TV show, I watched it recently. It's not as good. I think they made Mia a lot more annoying. Like, she was kind of annoying in the beginning, and I feel like that was kind of the point. She and Mrs. Richardson were both kind of nosy, but like, she was really annoying in the TV show. But yeah, TV show is not as good as the book, shockingly. Wow, we are all shocked at this, but I also really liked it because I don't know, I liked all the characters. I really liked Pearl's relationship with all the Richardson children. There are like 4 of them, and she has like a whole thing going on with each of them. Well, not really Izzy, the youngest. I like Izzy too, but yeah, I liked all the characters. Basically, it was just a solid read. I was really hooked. I thought about it a lot, and yeah, that's Little Fires Everywhere. So, the 5th book I read in January, and yes, this one is in January. It's not in December, trust me. It's Carry On by Rainbow Rowell. So this book, it's like kind of Harry Potter inspired. Well, it is Harry Potter inspired. It's basically Harry Potter, but like different. And so the Harry Potter in this case is Simon Snow. He's like, I like him, he's sassy. He's like, he goes to Watford, which is like this magic school in the UK. It's basically Hogwarts, and he has a Hermione, Penelope, he has a Draco, Basilton, and he has like a girlfriend. Ginny? Cho Chang? I don't know. And Agatha. Agatha's the Ginny / Cho Chang. And, yeah, basically what goes on is that he's like the chosen one, like Harry Potter, and he needs to defeat the humdrum. And, yeah, they also have wands and stuff. They're like everything like Harry Potter, except for, in my opinion, it might be a little bit better. I know this is not controversial, but it's like unpopular opinion, basically. I like Simon Snow better than Harry Potter because he's sassier. I know that Harry Potter is a little sassy, but like, I don't know. And he's also gay, so I feel like he's a little spicier, if you know what I mean. So yeah, I rate this a 4 out of 5 stars. I really enjoyed it. I loved all the characters. I love Simon and Basilton and Penelope. Not so much Agatha, but that's okay. We can't win them all. And the reason I couldn't give it 5 out of 5 stars was because I was kind of confused at the end when they were like, I don't know, he was like, I don't know, but I also feel like this is kind of because of my reading comprehension and, well, more specifically my lack of reading comprehension. I did not comprehend what I was reading, so yeah, that's why it's a 4 out of 5. But it was cute, I really enjoyed it, yeah. So the 6th book I read in January, not December, was Wayward Son by Rainbow Rowell. yeah, so it's the sequel to Carry On. And so what happens in this one? This one's crazy good, okay? Simon, Basilton, and Penelope go to the US to visit Agatha, but they go on like a road trip. And it's kind of like fan fiction, but like good. Not that fan fiction isn't good, like some fan fiction is kind of good, but like this, it's so good. It's just so fun. So they go on a road trip and a bunch of, I don't know, stuff happens. So I rate this a 5 out of 5 because I loved it. And let me explain why. It was just really, really, really fun. Like, some of the dialogue in this, it was very good. It was fun. I really liked when they like stop in Chicago. They like take the plane to Chicago, and then they're like, okay, we're gonna drive to San Diego to see Agatha, but because they're from the UK, which is tiny, they're like shocked that they have to drive so far to San Diego. It's just fun. And then they go to the Cheesecake Factory, and they're like, wow, this is so good. Americans have such big servings. And yeah, I just thought it was really fun. It was really cute too. I liked Simon and Basilton. I should start calling him that, but I don't know if it's Baze or Boz. So yeah, that's why I liked it. There was nothing I didn't like about it. I loved it, is the point here. Yeah, I liked it better than Carry On, because, I don't know, now that I think, it was a bit less plot-driven than Carry On, I guess, because, like, I don't know, for the first half, they're kind of just, like, driving around, which I thought was very fun. I enjoyed the first half a lot. I also enjoyed the second half. The entire book was good. So, the 7th book I read in January, not December, was The Lost Book of White by Cassandra Clare. I need to put my notes down for this because it's about to I need to do a bit of explaining here. So, Cassandra Clare and I, we go back. So, the first time I read The Mortal Instruments was in the summer before 6th grade, and it was the first book series, other than Warrior Cats, it's embarrassing, that I like. Okay, why am I saying other than Warrior Cats? Like, yeah, Warrior Cats was the first series I obsessed over, but like, Mortal Instruments was the first series that wasn't embarrassing that okay, maybe it was a little embarrassing that I like obsessed over. Basically, I loved it, and I loved it very, very much, and Malik was my OTP, was my all-time, what does OTP stand for? Shit, sorry, I'm stupid. They were my OTP. The longer I live, the older I get, I don't know, the more I realize how trashy the Mortal Instruments were, and I'd say like half my middle school experience was like half of it was obsessing over the Mortal Instruments, and the second half was like ranting about how bad it was. It was very complicated, but the point is, it means a lot to me. So basically I felt obligated to, I have the book, I should hold it up for you, there's a pencil in it because for future reference, but here's the book, it's from the library. Okay, so I felt very obligated to read The Lost Book of White because it's about Magnus and Alec, you know. So yeah, so let me summarize. Basically, Alec and Magnus have adopted their son Max, the warlock thing that's blue, and but now they need to go to Shanghai because demon stuff, and also someone like stabbed Magnus, and now he has like a glowing thing in his chest, and he can't get another one or he'll have an X, and that's bad. So they're like going to Shanghai to go figure this out, and and they're also taking Clary, Jay, Simon, and Isabel with them. So yeah, it's an adventure with the crew in Shanghai. They eat a lot of Chinese food, they visit the Institute. I don't know, it's cool, fun. Maybe they'll go to hell. They do go to hell. So yeah, I rate this book 3 out of 5 stars. And this is why. Okay, what I liked about the book. I really like the dialogue in this book. I feel like a lot of Cassandra Clare's dialogue is not amazing. Like, when she's describing events, it's a little bit unrealistic, but this was good. Okay, let me read you my favorite part. This is... okay, here's the dialogue. So they're like going to Shanghai, so they get in the portal and stuff, but the portal like malfunctions and it separates Magnus from the rest of the group, and they're like, where is Magnus? And they go like meet up with him, and Magnus is like, oh yeah, the portal dropped me like over the river. and I'm just gonna read this. Oh, this is cringy. I'm like scared. So, what did you do? Said Jace. I tumbled through the air gracefully and landed on my feet on the back of a friendly porpoise, said Magnus. That's the dialogue. Wow, amazing, isn't it? I know. I laughed. Now that I read it out loud, I realized I don't really know why I laughed hard. I was amused at the time of reading, which I think is what matters. So, yeah, I really like the dialogue. I also really like the nostalgia. I don't know. I miss these characters, you know. Even though Alec and Magnus are my favorite, I like everyone else too, except for Clary. She's stupid. So, yeah. That's what I liked about it. I just like the world, and I like to be back in it again. Sorry, those are some really weak snaps. Okay, well, I'll cut that out. But the things I didn't like about it were... Okay, you need more context. Basically, Alec is my favorite character. I love Alec because in City of Bones, he was mean to Clary, and she deserved it because she was stupid. You know, when he was, like, strangling her against the wall and he was, like, slamming her head into it. Now that I think about it, that was very violent. But, like, same. Clary's stupid. Go for it. Like, yeah, he was king. King behavior. But yeah, I really like Alec. He's my favorite character. So I was like, wow, I can't wait to see Alec do things in this book about Alec and Magnus, but like Alec. And so we go in, and it's all about Magnus. Like, I feel like I'm reading the Bane Chronicles or something. Like, why is it all about Magnus? Like, I get that he like has the injury, he has the plan, he has like all the stuff, and every time we get an Alec POV, all he does is he's like, oh, I'm worried about Magnus. What about Magnus? Oh, Magnus must be in pain. Like, I don't really care. I mean, like, I care about Magnus, but like, can Alec do something, please? Like, yeah, he did stuff, but the plot was very driven by Magnus. And I just wanted to read about Alec. So yeah, I was disappointed with the lack of Alec content. And another thing I didn't really like, the plot moved very slowly. I feel like for the entire first half of the book, we were just like going places and meeting people. Like, hey, remember Jem? Jem is here. And oh, this is the grandma character, who is unnecessary, but she is here too. This is that guy we met in Red Scrolls of Magic. And he is also here. So we have a lot of people here. Look at all the people. Oh, look, our new character, Chinese guy, Tian. He has a girlfriend. Look at her, she is here as well. So we were, I don't know, for like a long time we were just meeting people and going places, and I was like, no, like, I like that a little bit, but then, like, and then the real stuff starts happening, and then, I don't know, I didn't care about it that much. I feel like that's the real problem here, and yeah, it moved kind of slow. I feel like also the stakes weren't very high when I think about it, because like nobody's gonna die. They're not gonna kill off someone. Like, they're not gonna kill Simon or anyone. Like, I don't know, everyone's gonna make it, so there were like no stakes. I'm like, okay, let's move on to the next fluffy scene between Magnus and Alec. Let's move. So yeah, that's why I had to give it 3 out of 5 stars, like objectively. But it was still good. I really enjoyed reading it. It was very fun. And yeah. So those are all the books I read in January or maybe December, perhaps. I don't know. Do you know? So yeah, thank you for watching. I hope this wasn't too horrible. And maybe subscribe if you want. You probably don't, but I'd like you to subscribe. That's why I asked. Yeah, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. Comment and like and stuff.